today, what we're taking care of is we are unbuilding Project Fuel. This has been a bike on the channel for about a year. As many of you guys may have seen, this is getting replaced with a new bike. I have that new frame and all the parts in, and I'll be putting together a video on getting that new bike built up. But I figured why lose the opportunity to strip this one down with you guys watching. So feel free to ask any questions as we go. Not really sure how this is going to happen, but we're going to make it go. So the new owner of this bike, well, I should say when I sell it, and I think I have somebody on the line for it, but the new owner will be getting just the bike, bottom bracket, handlebar, stuff like that. So I don't need to keep that stuff on here. But pretty much the first place to start off is let's go ahead and get these wheels off. Turn the clutch off the derailleur here. And begin the disassembly. Now this bike was running these Shimano SLX brakes, the 2-piston variety, not the 4. And I'm going to be carrying these to the new bike because I was pretty happy with how these worked out. Just to the side there. Now, quick trick. So the little threaded ring that goes around a tubeless valve, they're actually the same size as your brake boss mounts. So when you're taking something off, you can just go ahead and put that on. Now I don't have to worry about losing that bolt. It's always handy to have way too many of these tubeless valve stems sitting around. That way we can steal them for the time being. All right, and Cranked Wheels is asking remedy or not, or excuse me, remedy or fuel. This is a fuel. All right. Next thing up, I haven't quite decided. These Super Cuz grips were actually really nice. I like the way they feel, but the new bike is not going to be the oil slick color that these are, so I'm not sure if I'm going to reuse them. All right. All right, and for just my sanity, because I'll probably use the same one-up dropper. I'm going to use or keep that I-spec mount on my brake and just pull this stuff apart for now. I'm going to do the new owner. Oh, there it goes. Do the future owner, I should say, a favor. And I'm going to leave all of the housing in the frame. I don't need it, but it's going to keep or make it a lot easier, I should say, for the future owner. So hopefully that'll help them out. And put this aside there. I don't know what small part that was that dropped, but off it went. Yeah, and this rear brake is going to be one of the few things that's going to be a little bit of a pain, just because I will have to bring that hose out of the frame. That's okay. That's not going to be too bad. We'll just cut it and move on. Well, thank you, Cranked Wheels. I appreciate that. And as far as fuel or Remedy, I haven't actually ridden a Remedy in quite some time. I had one, I think it was 2015 or 2016. It was the Remedy 9 in that blue and orange color. Absolutely tremendous bike, but my riding style really just didn't lend itself to that much travel, as well as I very much prefer 29-inch wheels. All right, this I-spec stuff is nice, but man, it gets all tangled together. Come on, buddy. Finally. That little guy. All right. Get that I-spec mount put back together here. That way it can live to fight another day. All right. That stuff out of the way here. Be back just a moment. Thought I had everything I needed, but apparently not. Yeah, so it's actually a TTO2. This I just bought for my wife. She wants to get it built up. We haven't done it yet. We are looking into what colors to do, because red is not the color she wants. But that's going to get a little 60 amp ESC set up, so it should come out nicely. All right, take this, Just yank our end right off. And again, I'm going to leave the housing in the frame. That way the new person doesn't have to deal with it. Yeah, it's my first Tamiya. I haven't ever used one of those. I've got a bunch of low C and a bunch of Arma, but that is the first Tamiya. So we'll see how it goes together. All right. The housing is staying in. Let's find our master link here. Although this may be one of those Shimano chains that does not have a master link. No, there it is. Perfect. I thought it did. A pair of these Pedro's master link plier tools is absolutely worth the investment. Just made that go together way easier than otherwise it would have. Now, interesting thing to note for you guys, when you think about chains, there's these tools to measure how much chain stretch there is. And that's because as you pedal, the little pivots inside of here, these guys actually ovalize. But the chains help with stretch, and very rarely on a mountain bike do I ever actually totally wear out the chain as far as elongation. But take a look at this chain and just how much this is able to bend. So it's highly unlikely on the new bike I'll even put this on because you can see I have totally worn out this chain, whole bunch of play in it. And that's something to keep in mind is, on drivetrain wear, chains are a wear item. You should replace them every year or maybe even more often depending on how much you ride. In my case, it's pretty much every year, and that consists of like 600 to 800 mountain bike miles per year. And stock is relative. This drivetrain didn't, but it's been on there for, I haven't checked Strava. I'm not sure how many miles this has on it, but probably in that 600 mile range. And as you can see, derailleur is nice and dirty, a little bit beat up, but that's okay. I'll be taking all this stuff to my local bike shop and having them do a drivetrain clean. That's one of those things that at least I've found out over the years, it's just not worth my time trying to mess with cleaning that stuff. They can put it in their parts tank, cleans up in an instant, and it's way better than what I would do on my own. There we go. That one was being a touch stubborn here. Oh no. Broke off your hanger, huh? That sucks. It's funny, on Tuesday I'll have a video just about derailleur hangers. So maybe that'll be interesting. What else do we have here in comments? Oh, nice. Adam, you're getting a Fuel EX7 by the end of the year. That's so exciting. Nice. The Fuel's a great bike. I suspect you'll enjoy it. How long have you been waiting for it, Adam? Or, excuse me, Andrew. My eyesight is apparently not that great today. All right, the Holotech 2 is about to come apart. This is where we'll need to clean up a little bit of this. Come on. It's being a little bit stubborn. There's the non-drive crank arm. I'm going to put this on a rag on my desk just because I don't want to get all that dirty. But out that comes. Beauty of well lubricating your drivetrain before putting it together. Although, check out the amount of dirt that's on the inside of that. Well, I hope by the time you save up enough, I really hope that they're in stock. I know that's been a real challenge right now. All right. Cool. And then down here, I've got a ISCG bash guard from 1UP. This has actually been something I really liked. I don't exactly love their dropper lever that I've been using. And it's hard to explain why, but mostly it's not my cup of tea, I don't think. But it was what was available at the time when I built this bike. But their bash guard has been really dang nice. I've liked this thing quite a bit. Held up well, and the nice thing is even though it's a little beat up, you can change the bash plate if you needed to. I certainly don't. It's got a lot more usage before that's going to be a problem. Off comes a little carbon bottle cage. It's a RXL. That's an older bottle cage. I think Bontrager calls it a Pro or something now. But truth be told, I've got way too many water bottle cages, so I generally don't buy new ones. All right. This tightened up here. And now it's time to undo our caliper on the back. Thanks, Gerald. All right. So now I got to think through how the heck do I want to take this brake off? I could cut the line But I don't think that's going to be my best bet here. All right, just a moment, guys. So grabbed a couple of these little rags here. I'm going to toss them on the floor because mineral oil is not the best stuff. It's not nearly as bad as DOT fluid. We keep that from being too much of a problem on the floor. But what I think I'm going to do is we'll test out, open up this piece. I retract that. Just time to cut it. There we go. The neat thing there is a lot of times, I don't know if I'll be able to get this to happen. Yep. So what I'm doing is I'm putting into the end of the hydraulic hose. You can use the end of one of your cable crimps. This is the used one, but that's going to keep it from dripping out. And because that cutoff isn't going to be saved anyways, you don't have to worry about messing up the inside. But now we can store this, and as long as you're not stupid and grab the lever, it's not going to leak or any of that good stuff. Oh yeah. Got one more clamp while we're down here. Out that'll come. This is the Control Freak cable routing, or whatever their marketing term is. It's a itty bitty little plastic piece that actually, let me see if I can show you. But it goes right underneath here, and it actually zip ties. It's actually a lot easier than you'd expect. But what that does is that zip ties the cables all to the bottom of the tube, and then they don't end up making any noise. It's kind of a nice thing, actually. Got one more clip to go. Yeah, look at that. A lot of people do RC that I've found that also bicycle. And I didn't know that until I got into the RC crawling space. I've got quite a few crawlers. And it seems like every mountain biker that I end up meeting, they also do RC crawlers. Kind of interesting. All right, there we are. Now, one weird thing, I don't know if I did this on my own, but this ended up getting kinked when I installed, or I should say after I noticed it, after it was installed. I don't know if I kinked that while I was installing the hose, or if just that weird bend that's on the fuel causes it to happen. But most likely I'll be replacing that hydraulic hose anyways. Got a little bit of fluid up on the wall there. All right. So pretty much we just need to drop the fork and deal with the dropper post. But I'll deal with the dropper last. Pretty much just so I can keep using the dropper to hold the bike up on the stand here. All right. Here it is. In this tiny room, I can always still lose tools. Ooh, there we go. So there's the fork. This will get reused on the new bike, although I've got some cool stuff coming for the fork, hopefully to dress it up a little bit. Perfect. Needed a couple more rags. So knock block system is going to stay. Knock block, it does have this little tab in the head tube. Actually, might as well show how that works. Ooh, greasy. So on the inside of a knock block headset, or the top cap, you'll see these little, I don't know what you would call that, but it's like CNC machined out. And then there's a tab that goes on the top of the frame. You can actually replace this with a flat one if you wanted to, or there's adapters that put this to work with any style of headset. But you can see here, what it does is it basically limits how far around, because that tab runs on that channel on the inside. Kind of a cool feature, because basically it helps protect your fork from getting messed up with the down tube of the bike, which is, entirely possible. Or actually, I think I should have said that backwards. How is the Fuel EX5? It's great. Looks like Andrew suggested going with a Fuel EX5. Nice. I think this has like 600-ish miles on it. I'm not not actually 100% certain. Great. Pop these bearings out. Lower bearing. They do still feel pretty nice. So kudos to whatever headset Trek specs with their bikes. But now it is time to clean this up just a hair. There you go. That's the one-up lever I've been using. Good old one-up. I don't especially love that lever, but it's been working. All right. So to clean this up, this is actually where something kind of cool has come along. So I got mailed out some stuff from Super Clean. They reached out and asked if I would try their stuff on some bikes. I figured, hey, why not? Of course, I do have my typical cleaning supplies nearby in case this doesn't work out. But let's see what they mailed over. So some Super Clean degreaser might be helpful. An all-wheel cleaner. I don't think this is for bike wheels, but maybe for the truck. Ooh, pretty good looking ball cap. Toss that on instead. T-shirt, and then I think we'll give this a shot. This is a little bit of cleaner here. Let's see what happens. Because the bike is downright filthy. Surprisingly, that stuff seems to be working pretty nice. It is filthy on the back end of the bike here. No surprise, but so anyone that's in the chat, what kind of videos would you guys like to see coming up here in the future? What should I be focusing on? All right. More bike rides, you say? I can do that. Try testing different terrain. What kind of terrain do you mean? All right, there we go, finally. Want whoever gets this bike after me to have a nice clean bike when it arrives. All right. This is almost getting there, guys. Get that underside cleaned up and we'll pretty much be done. Got a little piece of writing under here that says basically a website I guess you go to get all the patents that they've used on this bike. Huh. Might actually go there just out of curiosity. More mountain bikes under $5,000. Yeah, you got it. That's the stuff that I mostly enjoy to do. I've gotten a little burnt out on doing like Trek Marlin 5, Marlin 6, Marlin 7, Marlin 8. Because while those bikes are different, they're largely pretty similar. So I'm hoping to get a few more brands to check out under that price point. You know, if I could get some Giants or things like that on the channel, that would be nice. I just videoed a Univega the other day, which, yeah, it's really funny. That brand's been gone for forever, but they're kind of making some cool stuff. All right. Testing different components. Yeah, that would be cool. That's a little tough to do, but that would be cool. The Dual Sport 4 that you're talking about, those are all, that's already done. Maybe if they change it for 2021. Yeah, there's no Cannondale dealers near me. So I may not be able to do Cannondale. At least in my area, they're not really that used. Well, I think we are pretty much there on this one. All that's left is to out the cable goes, and there is a stripped Fuel EX7. Well, thanks guys for watching this. Thanks for joining me on the live stream, believe it or not, which you probably do believe. But this was the first live stream I've done on James the Bike Guy. So thank you very much for joining me for this, and see all of you guys on Tuesday for a tech tips video regarding derailleur hangers. So thanks again. See y'all later.